Welcome back, listeners, to another episode where we dive into the canals of narrative heritage, unearthing the controversies in Thousand and One Night Tales. Today, we embark on a magic carpet ride through the tale of Aladdin, traversing its journey from east to west while unveiling the murky waters of its authorship. I'm your host, Dev, and joining me today in this stimulating debate is Hassan. Ready to get started, Hassan?
Certainly, thank you for having me here. Aladdin's tale has definitely spun its magic across the globe. So let's begin.
Let's begin with the snippet from the Monocle podcast where Yasmin Seal and Paulo Lemos Horta illuminate Aladdin's French debut. So let's lend an ear to this.
Sure.
So, look, let's go right back to the beginning with Aladdin. Where do we first see the story emerge?
It was first published in French, and there is no Arabic manuscript. The story is published in 1712 as part of Antoine Galland's translation, which came out in 12 volumes, and it was sort of the Harry Potter of its day. There was a sensation after each volume. People would throw stones at his window in the middle of the night and demand a story from the next volume because they couldn't wait. Unfortunately, he did not acknowledge in print where he got the story from. In his diary, his private Parisian diary, he said there was a storyteller from Paris who came and told him some stories, but scholars had not been able to substantiate that. So we've been giving the French translator a lot of credit for 300 years for basically writing the story.
Galland's rendition is indeed enthralling, right? But I think Seal's narrative unearths a storm of queries. The glaring lapse in crediting a possible Arabic progenitor of these stories, that's massive. Was Galland merely a translator? Or did he morph into a co-author under the shroud of translation?
The plot thickens, doesn't it? Galland's editorial silence rings through the narrative. Did he merely mirror the origin, or did his pen waltz to its own rhythm, reintroducing Aladdin with probably European essence?
Definitely. More than just the story, though. I think we should also talk about the ethics of authorship. That's a major point in contention over here. Galland's diaries whisper of an Arabic seed of these stories, yet publicly he claimed the tale bloomed in the West.
Yeah, speaking of the diary, let's look at this particular clip from Professor Horta in the Serpentine Gallery of him retelling the story.
There are many mysteries surrounding the creation of Aladdin. It first appeared in the French version of the tales produced by Antoine Galland. In his private diary, not in print, the French translator would credit the Syrian storyteller Diab with giving him the tale of Aladdin in May 1709. But unlike the other tales added by Galland based on his notes from listening to Diab's performances of oral storytelling, the diary references a written text of Aladdin. Did Diab provide this story alone in written form to Galland? And if so, how much was his story drawn from familiar motifs absorbed in the cafes of Aleppo and from his own youthful experiences of marvels in both East and West? No text of Aladdin has been found.
Horta's narrative unveils a sea of ambiguity. Galland's diary crediting Hana Diab, juxtaposed against his public silence, is a narrative paradox. It's not merely Aladdin's story at stake, but it's the ethics of storytelling.
True, but hold on there. We can't overlook Galland's pivotal role. The tale, his rendition, even if it was altered, did end up bridging the narrative chasm between the East and the West. Maybe without his narrative touch, you tell me, would Aladdin have been the success it is today in the Western world?
Definitely you have a fair point there, but it doesn't overshadow the issue. The tale mirrors an era when Eastern tales were often repackaged with a Western stamp, often stripping them of its authentic essence. Even though while Galland might have introduced Aladdin to the West, the absence of proper credit to Hana Diab or the Arabic origin is a glaring oversight.
And yet, amidst these ethical entanglements, Galland's version ignited a spark of curiosity and, more importantly, appreciation for Eastern tales among Western audiences.
Okay, but at what cost? The narrative was tailored to appeal to Western taste, thus diluting the authentic essence. The portrayal of Aladdin's tales through the Western lens can perpetuate stereotypes, and even foster a narrow understanding of Eastern culture, which is already present.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is a convoluted issue at the end of the day, right? While Galland has played a pivotal role in introducing these stories to the West, the manner of introduction comes with its own set of ethical questions, especially when these stories are crossing cultural boundaries.
Precisely, as we revisit these tales, it's imperative to strive for a more authentic representation and acknowledgement to the original storyteller.
Definitely.
The journey of Aladdin's tales from its Arabic roots to its French rendition and beyond is a testament of the enduring glory of the story itself. Yet it also underlines the necessity for narrative integrity and respect to its origin. Thank you for having this wonderful discussion with me, and it was really good to have you on this show, Hassan.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, listeners. Till next time, this is me and Hassan, and hope to catch you in another episode of the 1001 Nights